There was once a young boy named Aaron who lived in a quiet mountain village. He dreamed of becoming the best archer in the world, but no one believed in him. Every morning, Aaron practiced alone in the forest, his arrows missing the target again and again. Villagers laughed at him. "Give up, Aaron. You'll never make it." But he smiled softly and said, "One day, you'll see." Days turned into months. His fingers bled, his arms ached, but he kept practicing. One rainy evening, his arrow finally hit the center. Aaron's eyes filled with tears, not of pride, but of relief. He ran home to share his joy, but his father said coldly, "Dreams don't feed a family." That night, Aaron sat outside under the stars, whispering to himself, "I'll make my dream real, even if I have to walk alone." Years passed. Aaron grew stronger, faster, wiser. But he still failed many times in competitions. People said, "You're wasting your youth." But Aaron only smiled and whispered, "Every failure teaches me something." One day, he heard about a grand archery tournament held in the king's city where the world's best archers would compete. Aaron sold his few belongings and began a long journey through forests, storms, and deserts. He reached the city, tired and hungry, but full of hope. On the day of the contest, hundreds of archers stood in shining armor. Aaron stood among them barefoot, with a wooden bow. When he aimed his first arrow, his hands trembled. The arrow missed completely. The crowd laughed. "He's just a village boy." But Aaron closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He remembered the nights of pain, rain, and loneliness, and whispered, "I didn't come this far to stop now." He raised his bow again, steady this time. The arrow flew straight into the center. The crowd fell silent. One shot after another, bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. When the final round ended, Aaron had defeated every master archer. The king stood and said, "Young man, how did you achieve this?" Aaron replied, "I failed more times than anyone here, but I never stopped learning from my failures." The king smiled. "Then it's not your arrows that made you win, it's your heart." The people who once laughed now clapped the loudest. Aaron returned to his village not as a champion, but as a symbol of never giving up. He began teaching the children what he had learned, that failure is not the end. It's a beginning. Years later, his students spread across the land, each carrying his lesson. Never give up. Because sometimes, the difference between failure and success is just one more try.